my team.
Dude, this thing about Tristan looking like Pop Smoke is
that's hilarious.
So funny.
That was funny. It literally looks like him.
Literally looks just like him.
That's
what God.
Yeah.
Did he dress up as Pop Smoke?
No, that was just whatever his fashion designer gave him.
Yeah.
All right, what are we talking about?
Okay, so I know we've told you all about the awesome podcasts from Just Women's Sports, including their flagship podcast, the Just Women's Sports Podcast, hosted by U.S. Women's National Team champ Kelly O'Hara, and Tea with A and Fee, hosted by the WNBA's Asia Wilson and Nafisa Collier. But there's another one we want to shout out.
It's Snacks, hosted by U.S. Women's National Team All-Stars and North Carolina Courage teammates Lynn Williams and Sam Muse.
On the pod, Lynn and Sam talk about life, soccer, and everything in between. And they talk to the game's greatest,
including Megan Rapinoe, Crystal Dunn, Midge Purse, Rose Lavelle,
Tierna Davidson, and more.
They get real about life on and off the field and have some fun, too.
Check it out wherever you get your audio.
One of the things I love about betting my favorite sports is that I'm always finding new player props or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. It's called a same game parlay bet, and you can only find them on FanDuel. Same game parlay is just one of the reasons I bet with FanDuel. It's easy to register, easy to deposit, easy to find your bet, easy to place your bet fast during a game if you see a trend you like. And the best part, when you win, FanDuel pays your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today to create a same game parlay and use promo code ROADTRIPPIN at sign-up. New users get their first bet risk-free up to $1,000. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 back in site credit if you don't win. That is promo code ROADTRIPPIN so they know I sent you. Disclaimer, 21 years and older and present in Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia. First online real money wager only. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado, 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa, 1-800-9-WITH-IT, Indiana, 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan, 1-800-GAMBLER, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia, Tennessee Redline, 1-800-889-9789, in Tennessee, or visit www.1800gambler.net for West Virginia. Cheers. Welcome into this edition of Road Trippin' presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Allie Clifton, alongside Channing Frye, Richard Jefferson. You guys, I really just struggled to say all that. Why? Because we haven't recorded a podcast in I don't even know how long.
It's been like 3 days.
I wrote down, welcome to this edition of FanDuel, presented by Road Trippin'. That's literally what I wrote down. But here we are.
Here we are.
Channing, shout out. Where's that shirt from?
When I retired.
Shirt. What?
The last game, they made these shirts. It's very comfy. I found it. I still have a box
shirt, actually,
from Eloise's wedding when I sent my suit back from Scotland. I think that was like 4 years ago.
You haven't opened
the box up. Because we're going through our attic. Look at that. It's like still, there's a suit and a bunch of clothes in there. I have no clue what's in it.
Hey, I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than just shipping shit home.
There's nothing better when you can ultimate flex on people and you don't need clothes in a box. What a timely conversation. All right, you guys want to dive into the NBA? Is that what we want to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about basketball.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks in and I feel like there's a bunch of surprises.
Ooh.
Yeah? Can I just read you a couple?
Please.
This is based off of, obviously it's Monday, so the ESPN rankings come out. And for the week that was, let's do, first of all, the top 5, according to ESPN.
Top 5.
Miami, number 1. That's not funny. Miami, number 1. Kyle Lowry, guys, 8 points, 4 boards, 7 assists. He was a plus 51 in 4 games last week. They went 4-0.
Okay, like Kyle Lowry.
Hang on. Jimmy Butler, Eastern Conference Player of the Week.
Okay.
He averaged 28, 8, 5, 3 steals. And Miami beat teams by an average of 18 points last week.
Okay.
One of those was
here we go.
The Nets. Another was Charlotte. Both. Oh, the Nets are not
I guess they're 8th right now.
Mets look like trash, even though they're so good, but they're just working themselves into shape.
Yeah.
Like,
So you
LaMarcus Aldridge balled out.
You've got Miami who went 4-0. You've got Indy when we're talking about the East who went 0-4 last week. 2 losses to the Raptors. So you have Miami at 1. You've got the Jazz at 2, the Warriors at 3, New York at 4, and the Bulls.
The Bulls.
Not just in the East. The Bulls at number 5.
What saved them is that win versus Utah. That win versus Utah, which was a legitimate win in Chicago. Yeah, they beat them.
They got beat. Oh, yeah, in Chicago, but they got beat by the Knicks in Chicago as well.
Yeah, they got beat by the Knicks. That was their first loss. And so everybody was like, how good are they? They haven't played any. They beat the teams they should have beaten, but then Utah comes rolling in, and they did a good job. I felt it was back and forth. I watched that game because that was like the first, to me, that was the first super test. How do you handle that first loss to the Knicks, who we know are a good team, but Utah is one of the best teams in the league. They did their business. Chicago handled their business. They beat them, and you're just like, okay, the Chicago Bulls are real, but they have some injuries. I feel like lingering.
Patrick Williams.
Yeah,
that's Williams. A huge loss because I feel like he would be the difference maker if we played Boston in the first round. You're like, hey, go guard Jalen Green for a second, and DeRozan. Like Jalen Green's been balling. Jason Tatum's been doing solid. But like, okay, Miami.
Who's Jalen Green?
Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown. Oh, yeah.
I was having the same moment. I was like Jalen Brown.
A lot of brown, green, white, Kobe White, Jalen Green, Jalen Brown, Jalen Suggs, a lot of Jalen's and greens and colors. But Miami, last year, I think struggled a lot because Tyler Hero was playing point guard a lot of the time. He's not a point guard. So when you bring in the most winningest Raptor player of all time at point guard, NBA champion Kyle Lowry, everyone just has to do what they're supposed to do. Like I have like seen them get bogged down, and he just like, give me the ball, move out the way, come set this screen. Here's a play. Like he doesn't need to average. He might average 12 points for the year, and they might be number one.
He's so important because, like you said, if you have a guy like Jimmy or Tyler Hero that are forced to score and create for other players. Like we saw that in the finals. Jimmy was just exhausted. He was defending, he was rebounding, he was running pick and rolls. And they lost, like Dragic was such an important piece to what they were doing. And so that's why the Dragic Bam Adebayo pick and roll was so important. Now you got him that can, like, Tyler, you run off screens, right? Oh, Jimmy, I'll help feed you. I'll make sure that the system is running and you just do what you do. I think that's what makes them so deadly. When you have a bunch of people that are doing their roles, I think last year, especially with the injuries and all that stuff last year, Miami just had a lot of guys that were trying to like do different things. Yeah. Now they have guys that can settle in and I just do my job, you do your job, and they all do it at a high level.
Victor Oladipo could come back 50%, just be 50%. That's even nastier of a front court, right? Because you have like Kyle Lowry solid, Victor solid, Hero solid, Robinson solid, Jimmy solid, Markieff solid. Like you're just solid, and they're all tweeners, and you can play. Oh God!
Well, you're eating burrito while you're talking to us.
So it's a good burrito. You know, there's always that one spot that's cold, but the rest is like molten hot.
That's a microwave burrito if I ever hit it.
It literally is.
When you chew with your mouth open, it looks like mashed potatoes. So sick. Okay, so you know how every season is too. It starts out early and you've got all of these, you've got the veteran teams still trying to find their way. I mean, you have the Milwaukee Bucks who are sitting at 10 right now. We talked about the Hawks and where we thought they would be. They're 9. Obviously, you know the story with the Nets. The Sixers are at 6. So you have the Knicks, Bulls, Wizards, Heat, all at 5-1 at the top of the East. The Hornets at number 5. Are there any pretenders in that 5-1 slate? The top 4.
Wait, what did you just say? Who are the teams again?
It has
Knicks,
to be
Bulls, Wizards, Heat at 5-1, and then you've got the Hornets at 5-2.
Knicks. So the Hornets, I would say they are going to make it. Do I think that they'll sustain this? Like, I think Bridges might have a bit of a trouble averaging 26 throughout. Now, that's not saying he's not going to average 20. I'm not saying that, but he averaged 30. You know, he was averaging like 28. He was Eastern Conference Player of the Week, I think either last week or the week before. Like, he's making a serious jump. And to me, it is very similar to when you play with a great point guard, that all of a sudden who this player was and who this player can be is completely different, right? You put him next to LaMelo and he's put in the work. He's like worked on his jump shot. He's improved. Like he, has all the athleticism in the world, but I just don't know if those guys, I think if they finish 5th, I think that seems like it is versus saying that they're going to finish in the top 4, because that's a long journey. That's a long journey.
Let's just be real. The Milwaukee Bucks are legit. Like Drew Holiday hasn't been playing. They just want to chip. At the beginning of the year, they're just like Giannis is trying new things. I think they'll be 3rd or 4th. I just don't think they're like that. I don't think that they are that gung-ho about where they are. Their health is more important.
Let me ask you this then. Is that number 1 seed, does it carry and hold the value?
You should ask the Utah Jazz about that.
It does. No, don't. No, it does.
Well, it's the truth. Utah's one of the top 2 teams every year, and then they get their head busted in the playoffs.
Yeah, but it does carry weight, Channing, because look at what happened with Brooklyn and Milwaukee. Philadelphia had a much easier path. You're talking about 1 through 3. You're talking about Philly versus you're talking about Milwaukee versus Brooklyn in the 2nd round. 2 of the teams that were favored to win a championship, 2 of the top 5 teams in the league were going at it in the 2nd round. Like, yes, it does matter if you can avoid some of that shit. If you can avoid that, then yes, right? But overall, you still got to win. You still got to show up. But I think that's where you see the difference between being 1 and then 2 or 3.
What about the Wizards?
Yeah, I'm not rolling.
It's hard for me to say that. I think it's
shit. It shouldn't be.
I thought they'd be middle of the pack. I'm shocked that they're jumping on.
That team would be the middle of the Pac-12. What middle are you talking about?
Dude, I'm not counting them out. I think Spencer is playing good. I don't know if you're going to see Kyle Kuzma average 20 throughout the year.
He's not right now, but he is sitting at 6th in rebounding.
Yeah, he's crushing the rebounding. Yeah.
I'll tell you this right now. Let's stop.
13 and 13.
He's not going to be top 10 in rebounding. Like, once these guys start getting there.
Yeah. Look. Now we're going to talk about them. This getting off to a good start for them is imperative.
Huge.
Maybe they'll make it to the 8th. Maybe they make it, but this is where I think that they are just so. I don't know what they're doing, because if they make it to the 8th seed, they're not that good. But all of a sudden, instead of like trading Bradley Beal for assets, and then maybe let's say hypothetically not playing well for a little bit, maybe you get the number 2, maybe you get the number 5 pick. Now all of a sudden you're going to have if you're the 8th pick or the 8th spot, let's say you're the 12th pick. So now it's like they're in limbo right now. Do I think that they're going to stay there? Probably.
They're missing Rui Hachimura too.
Yeah, no, but they're off to a great start. Like, dude, look, shout out to my guy, Junior, Wes Unseld. You know what I'm saying? He's doing a great job up there. He's crushing it. I had him as an assistant coach in Denver and
I had him in Orlando.
Yeah, and in Golden State. So it's like, dude, he's a great coach. So I'm happy for them. Do I think that they have the talent to stay where they are?
Are they better than Boston? I think
Boston's 12 right now.
Boston's off to a slow start.
So Richard, I'm gonna just go out on a limb. I think that they are 6, 7, or 8 in the East.
Washington.
So I'm saying Washington.
I'm listening to you.
Okay, so we'll just go down the line. Heat, Nets, Bucks.
Yep.
Sixers.
Okay.
Knicks.
Okay.
Okay. Now
that's where. Now we got
Hawks. Like some trash.
We got Hawks.
Bulls. Sorry, Bulls.
Charlotte Bulls.
Hornets.
So So those 6, I would say, those teams are a lock. And then now you have Charlotte, Washington, and Boston. That's 7, 8, 9.
You don't have Hawks in there.
Oh, Hawks. 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now, but in our defense, this is the strongest the Eastern Conference has been, in my opinion. In a long
The East went 13 and 8 last week against the West.
Yeah,
four of those wins came against the Pelicans.
What's crazy is the West. The West, I thought the Suns, I know, are going to be good. Golden State is killing, but like the middle of the pack of the West is a lot like what the East usually is. Like 4 through 10 is like, whatever's going on right now. It's not like anybody is that dominant other than Golden State right now. Like, I think the Kings will fuck around and make the playoffs.
Let's go. No, calm down.
Oh, you want to go to the West?
Let's go, Kings. Let's go.
They'll be in the play-in game. The Kings are 10th. The Kings are better than Dallas.
No,
Dallas is
just beat them. Dallas literally just beat them.
Just for context of people that they don't watch the entire NBA all the time. So you have the Kings ahead of the Mavs. The Mavs are at 4 right now at 4-2. The Kings are at 3-3 at 7. You've got the Jazz, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Mavs, the Timberwolves at 6 at 3-2. Lakers at 7. I'm sorry. Lakers at 6, Kings at 7, Portland at 8.
See, Portland's going to get better.
Phoenix.
Phoenix is at 10. Clippers 1-4 in 12th.
Listen, they on the struggle bus right now. That struggle. The only win was against Portland, and then they got their head busted.
I honestly, this is no lie. Now I know we're in the business of talking basketball. Yeah, I like preseason rankings, and then I like revisiting it about 10 games in. Right. Because it's like 10 games is nothing.
We're at like 6 or 7 games.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like if you see a team, like if the Clippers are start off 1-4, but then they win 3 in a row, then you know what I'm saying? Like, which they're capable of doing. They're super talented. Now we're not as stressed about them. You can't really judge a team till they've played 10 to 12 games, because it could be injuries. It could be health. It could be like,
is that every team? Because I feel like at some regard, that doesn't always hold for what?
The real teams, yes. Like, I'm not going to trip off a team like the Clippers or a team. Now, the teams that have to do what they have to get off to a good start to be talked about, the Timberwolves, the Hornets, the Wizards. Those
How about this? Let's make a gentleman's bet, Richard.
Okay. By gentlemen's, that means there's money involved, right?
Yes, or wine, right?
Okay. I like wine.
Or what? I'll get you a nice bottle of whiskey.
Ooh. So I want your wine.
Maybe you guys should actually create this bet, and loser has to donate to a charity.
Don't start that shit. Don't you start
Richard, that. I will say the Kings will have a better record than the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The King, well, fuck.
The Kings will have a better record than the Timberwolves?
Yes.
Why are you laughing, Richard?
Well, I'm laughing because it's like, look, the Timberwolves actually have a boatload of fucking talent, but
it's unbelievable.
They have a lot of talent. But boy, when I tell you, dude, yeah, it's just hard for me to not root for the Timberwolves, because I don't really give a damn, but just to say that they're going to be able to do something. The Kings are overachieving right now, and part of that I got to give credit to our boy Luke. You know, you got to give him credit. Like, the fact that they're playing at this level, you know, Harrison Barnes is hitting game winners. Like this
he was balling last year. He was on my fantasy team.
HB, that's my dude. But like, and I'll say this respectfully for HB, like, Luke is calling plays for Harrison Barnes to win games for him at the end of the game, where you have other teams that have fucking like all-stars doing this. And so I just think that, like, ultimately, like, not to disrespect their team, they're just going to have to do it by committee all season long. And De'Aaron Fox, all these guys, if you don't have a horse, and I look at they have 2 horses, in my opinion, 1.5 in Minnesota. Right. You know, a lot of these other teams have like 3 horses. The Kings have 1.5. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard to, you know, and even a guy like LaMelo. Right, LaMelo and De'Aaron Fox. Right, let's just compare the two. De'Aaron Fox is an improved scorer, like 20 a game. Like, the kid is a gym rat. He's going to be an all-star one day. LaMelo makes everyone around him better. That's his Superman skill set. Yeah. Right, and so it's like, it's easier in Charlotte, where you have a guy that knows how to make his team better, a la Steve Nash or Jason Kidd, that can elevate the talent level, versus asking a scoring guard like De'Aaron Fox to do that. He needs talent and pieces around him, and they don't. So I just think the Sacramento Kings are overachieving right now. And I think a win for them is to be anywhere between 35 wins and 500.
Ooh, Richard. No.
The best case scenario for the Kings
could be 500, Richard.
That's a 500. Not made the postseason in 15 years.
I feel it in my tibies.
It's like the longest stretch in NBA history.
Okay, we'll just see.
So are you taking the bet?
I'm not taking away that the Timberwolves are going to have a better record than the Kings, or you're saying the Kings are going to have a better record than Timberwolves?
Yeah, he said the Kings better than the Timberwolves.
Oh, fuck. This is brutal. The fact that
how about this?
You put me in a position to take the Timberwolves.
The Kings will be in at least the play-in game.
I'm rooting for them.
Like, go out on a limb, Channing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude,
a play-in game, you could be 10th in the West.
Yeah, the West is tough, I guess.
Channing makes these hard-hitting joints. And then
hold on, I have to write down who I think is in the West. So you have Golden State. Okay,
Jazz.
then you have
Jazz. Are we doing current? Do current for him, Allie.
The Jazz, Warriors, Nuggets, Mavs,
right.
Timberwolves.
I think she said the Dallas.
Lakers, Kings, Portland. That's your top 8 right now. And then you have Memphis, Phoenix, Spurs, and Clips, the next 4.
Keep talking to me about this play-in, bitch.
Hold on.
That shit.
Oh, I don't know. Let's just talk about how the hell are the.
There's a lot of girth there in that middle bottom. That's the shaft of that.
Because they're so disciplined.
Who?
The Spurs. He said, how are they still winning? It doesn't matter, like, if they're not flashy or sexy. We've known that over the years, and they may not have like a name that like everyone is like, oh my God, Spurs. But having just watched them against the Lakers last week, like, they still play the same way. They move the basketball, and if you don't defend,
triple-double.
What?
So far. DeJounte Murray is nasty this year. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what he did over the summer. He must have been working out.
No, well, he was also coming off from an ACL 2 years ago. So he's starting to like get back to what everybody believed he can be. And that's like an all-star caliber,
use your words.
Caliber player, all-star caliber player. But yeah, but Channing, now where do you have the Timberwolves and Kings now that you've seen that fucking thick shaft of the Western Conference?
All right, so here's what I think when the season is over.
Here we go. Buckle up.
Here we go. Let's see who gets closer, right? Richard, you got to say this. Number 1, the Utah Jazz. Write this down.
You have them as number 1.
They'll end the season at number 1.
Oh, we're doing end of the season shit 6 games in?
Yeah, this is so we know. Or let's do halfway through the season.
Let's do the bottom. Let's do the bottom.
There's so many games. Why don't we just revisit it at the 40-game mark, pay a bet, and then make another one for the end of season?
Tell me the 2 teams that you think are going to do better than who at the bottom. Give me 9 and 10 in the play-in. Give me who you got as 9 and 10.
Hold on, let me go 5, 6.
Allie, didn't he show us his college degree before we got on?
Yeah, he did.
He's like, do you have one of these? Do you have one of these?
I think it's going to be the Mavericks and the Kings are 9 and 10.
Mavericks 9.
You think the Mavericks are going to?
I just don't think the Mavericks are a good team. I just don't like.
They have holes. They have holes.
They have one guy. No, they have a horse. That's one horse.
But he's like LaMelo. He makes everyone around him better. He scores
a lot. And I said this on the air. There is no player more important to a team's success as not an all-star other than Kristaps Porzingis. So like when Porzingis is great, their team is top 6. When Porzingis is their team is bottom. He got to show out this year for them to be good.
There is one thing Luka has not done though.
Won for playoff series.
Yeah. So to your point, Channing.
Because he can't do it himself. My man's tired. Okay,
but again.
However, I struggle to really think that they're going to be a play-in.
Yeah, Luka is still an all-NBA player, no matter what. His numbers, regardless of how much they win, it's Luka magic. Like they're going to give him all NBA. The Kings might not have an all-star.
So do you think I think Memphis is better than Dallas.
Where do you have them at?
I have Memphis at 8. I have Jazz, Golden State, Phoenix will end the season at 3, Nuggets, Lakers.
Wow, Phoenix at 3?
Yeah, I think Phoenix is going to have a
You have the Lakers at 5?
Let me say this. Okay. Wait. Nice. I want people to hear me.
They got things to figure out.
All I'm going to say is an unnamed player after playing the Phoenix Suns told me that he thought it was a fluke. This was not me, because look, the unnamed player like hit me up and was like, that was a fluke. That was
so everyone that's listening is now going to this Phoenix Suns roster and
no, not the Phoenix Suns roster.
Who does Richard talk to?
No, not the Phoenix Suns roster. It was another player from a Western Conference team.
Oh.
No, what I'm saying.
I know who you're talking about, is my point.
Yeah, I know you know who I'm talking about, because but what I am saying is this: there's a lot of people that don't believe in what the Phoenix Suns was able to do. So like when we talk about a fear, when we talk about them having a long year last year, Chris Paul, they actually have a target on their back this year. There are some people that are not very fearful of the Phoenix Suns. DeAndre Ayton's contract didn't get done. A lot of shit going on over there in that organization that I don't think that they're going to finish at 3. I don't think that they're going to finish out. I think they're closer to a 5, 6, 7 this year than they are a 3. That's just...
One of the things I love about betting my favorite sports is that I'm always finding new player props or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. It's called a same game parlay bet, and you can only find them on FanDuel. Same game parlay is just one of the reasons I bet with FanDuel. It's easy to register, easy to deposit, easy to find your bet, easy to place your bet fast during a game if you see a trend you like. And the best part, when you win, FanDuel pays your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today to create a same-game parlay and use promo code ROADTRIPPIN at sign-up. New users get their first bet risk-free up to $1,000. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 back in site credit if you don't win. That is promo code ROADTRIPPIN so they know I sent you. Disclaimer, 21 years and older and present in Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia. First online real money wager only. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado, 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa, 1-800-9-WITH-IT, Indiana, 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan, 1-800-GAMBLER, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia, Tennessee Redline, 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee, or visit www.1800gambler.net for West Virginia.
This episode of Road Trippin' is brought to you by Bourbon Time. Even if you don't have a traditional 9-to-5 schedule, there is no denying that this past year has changed the way that work and rest intersect. Without a designated office to come home from, we're missing that natural break in our days. Our friends at Jim Beam recognize this phenomenon and they want to help us out. Beat the burnout and start blocking off the hour of 6 to 7 p.m. as your me time, where you can do what you love for you and only you. And what better way to spend my me time than with my feet up, enjoying a nice smooth glass of Jim Beam. So let's make the idea of Bourbon Time a reality. Join me in reclaiming 6 to 7 p.m. as the happiest hour so you can do whatever it is that makes you happy. And if that involves a glass of bourbon, remember to drink Jim Beam responsibly. Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, copyright 2021, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky.
Okay.
I'm sticking with Phoenix at 3.
Who do you have at 6 and 7, Channing?
Portland, I think at 6, and then the
You
Clippers
just say that
at
shit
7.
because you live there. You don't want to
No.
get harassed. You don't want to get
Watching them
harassed.
win games. Number one, their bench is better.
Their
They're
defense
winning
is better.
games differently than what they were doing. I think they're getting used to this new system. They're not going to be last in assists like they were other years before.
Every year.
Dame is coming off the ball a lot more. They're getting guys go roll into the hoop. Like Larry Nance helps. Cody Zeller helps. Nurk is going to start playing better. Their bench is getting developed more. I'm going with them.
Okay.
This is where I struggle, and this is why I asked the question if you guys are judging all teams the same, whereas you guys told me no, it's more middle of the pack teams versus the real teams, right? Because I just don't see why you're making that case for Portland and the Clippers, but yet you're so sure and you call it a gift to put the Lakers at 5.
Oh,
When
wow.
they have 5 3 of, if not 5, rotational players out. Have yet to touch the floor in the regular season. You guys understand
rotational players, Dolph Shays, Wilt Chamberlain, and Larry Bird.
What?
Like, what are you?
Allie, this
getting
is
for someone who starred in your role next to someone who operates and runs the system to understand the importance of a role player.
Yeah, but Chang never viewed himself as important, and I understand that.
I was just
Channing just got attitude with someone on Twitter because they said that Braun carried you to whatever, and you had a little attitude.
Oh yeah, carry these nuts.
My point is
I was gonna say something rude about his mama, but I didn't want to. I felt like I might get fired.
Yeah.
Here's why I say
you continue to make the case
in,
for Portland year after year after year.
Well, they make it every year. That's one of the things that goes into it. It's like, look, same what you said about the San Antonio Spurs. The reason why certain teams will still get the benefit of the doubt after 6 games is because we believe that 6 games is not a good enough sample size. Now we talk about, that's why I said, like, give me 10, 15 games, because 10, 15 games, if a team is like, if Charlotte is X, even if they have a good, like, even let's say after 15 games, if they're 10-5, even if they have a drop off, they can still sustain a level, in my opinion, that could keep them at 6 or 7, right? That can keep them right there. Now, if you're talking about if Charlotte was 5-10, you would be like, oh, they have never done anything that would prove to me that they could get, like, that could turn it around. They might play well at the end of the season. They might have a stretch, but it's the same thing with, like, the Clippers. If the Clippers are, 7-8 after their first 15 and they're sitting there at 11, I'm like, T. Lue, Paul George, that lineup, they're going to be fine. So a lot of it has to do with equity of what we have seen, not just in 1 year, but over like 5 or 6 years.
Which is why, when healthy, I don't see how you have the Lakers out of the top 4 in the West.
I don't have that either. Stop. It's okay. Here's why. That's a whole new team. And as you see, they have patches of where it looks amazing. And then they make one sub and you're like, oh, this looks trash. And then they make another sub. It's like, oh man, this looks amazing. Plus, every time AD falls, the whole place goes, God damn it, not again. Right? Russ plays better when Braun isn't playing. And then Braun plays better when Russ isn't playing. How long does that take? Defensively, they have spurts where they play really good, but can they sustain that?
I agree with the defense. Yeah.
That's a lot of what ifs. And I don't think that the Lakers aren't sitting there like, oh man, we're in 5th place right now. Like, that sucks. They're like, oh, we're healthy. This team is built for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think 4 or 5, I'm not going wrong. I think the Nuggets are a better team right now than the Lakers. Regular season, the Nuggets are a better regular season team.
They know who they are, and they're able to just work through it, right? Like, I'm saying the Nuggets know who they are currently. They have the same lineup.
They stink on defense, but they're going to offense you to death.
Yeah, they have the same lineup that they had last year, so there's some continuity there. But like for the Lakers, though, I think that the Lakers are one of those teams that, like, they can be hovering there, then they can wheel off 10 in a row. Right. Like, I'm not.
Yeah. And I think with the Lakers too, like, you found them where you found them last year because of injuries, but when healthy, they're not a team that wants to be at the bottom. And I'm not saying that they care necessarily about the standings, but at the same time, it's also indicative, if you're healthy, of how well you're playing.
Yeah, but this is the problem. And it's the same thing that happened last year with Brooklyn versus Philly.
Yeah.
You're not one, then, like, shit. You start getting to that 2-3 spot, and it's the same for them, the Lakers. If the Lakers end up being 2 and 3, and I'm not saying that they can't beat any team there, but if you got to go first round, right, because you're 4, you got to go first round and you beat the 5, let's say Dallas, or you beat the Clippers, whoever it is, then in the second round you're going to get the number 1 seed, or you'll get the number 2 seed. So it's like, not saying that the Lakers can't do that, but like, they have to be playing good basketball, in my opinion, or their route is going to be so difficult. That's the best thing about being the number 1 seed. The first series, you're going to smack that fucking team. You don't give a shit. It'll be.
It happened last year.
What do you mean? For who?
For the Lakers. At
But they
7,
weren't.
taking on the 2 seed.
No, I'm saying if they are, this is the benefit of being the 1 seed, being the 2 seed,
Oh,
is that
right.
you get to play against a lower level team and tune yourself up.
Right.
If you start
Okay, yeah.
hovering lower, if the Lakers are focused on health and they end up being 2, 3, 4, 5, now their route
it's tricky.
is so much harder.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's the benefit to being number 1. And if you're an older team and someone gets hurt or something, like if the Lakers were 2 or 1 and they were playing against the 7, even with AD a little banged up, even with Bron a little banged up, maybe they get through that and they can get healthy as the postseason happens. But if you're trying to get healthy playing against the number 2 seed that's been rolling all year, that's a nightmare.
No, that's why my point is that I think that they are going to try and figure this out and get it together sooner rather than later so that they are a top 4 team. That was all I was trying to say. I'm not trying to say that they're going to finish last because they're focused on health. My point
Allie,
is,
but if we just say you're right, then we don't have a podcast.
that's rude.
This is awesome.
Because no one likes to be told they're right when someone clearly thinks that they're not. Okay. So you have your West
Allie
done.
keeps referencing us getting trolled by this lady on Twitter. That's what Allie keeps making these little side jokes about freaking donations.
Allison thinks she's so slick.
This lady was being mean to Channing, and I stepped in.
She was bullying me.
She was what?
She was bullying me.
She was bullying Channing. No, people. Only thing I'm going to say is that 1, certain jokes we have to be less sensitive about, and 2, don't come in demanding like shit. Just don't. Just like
I don't like being told what to do.
Nobody does,
really?
especially if you get on a soapbox and start yelling at people and start and it's like, dude, like there's.
But I will say, everyone needs a friend like the 2 of you have in each other because, man,
I'm ready.
you
Listen.
sick her or what?
No, listen, man.
He's like, hi, friend here. Really? Here we are. Then Channing just goes off into the
well,
Wayne.
because Channing knows
Does
that
Dwayne have anything to do with this, by the way? Because he's the reason why it all started.
Channing also knows at that time, once I show up, Channing's like, okay, well, all the sarcasm, asshole, this is done. He'll take over from here. My job is done here. That's why I entered the chat like, hi, friend here. This looks like fun.
It was like tag team. All right, go ahead.
All right, Richard, I literally text Channing. I'm like, Channing, are you looking at this interaction that this lady keeps having with me? And I'm like, lady, it's okay to be right, but just like, shoot a DM of like, hey,
that really upset me.
yeah, it's like,
oh, sorry.
Hey, how about you send $10,000? And I was like, wait, damn.
What? Where'd you need that?
I was like, damn it. And I didn't understand that. We don't need to get into details because we don't want to engage in the Twitter trolls too much, but it was funny. It was
Bottom
funny.
line, don't debate with these 2 because if you debate with one, the other one will step in and it will
for sure.
You will not win.
I will ruin the whole conversation with nonsense.
Oh, we can say it here. This will be a full-on GIF conversation.
Oh, I won't talk to you. I'll straight GIF you.
Yeah, I was
Channing couldn't have been more like, I don't care about you. Bye. And Richard couldn't have been more like, I got all the time in the world. What do you want?
Richard's like,
no, the lady looked like she was looking to engage. She was looking to engage. And I was like,
she wanted to engage.
I'm here. You want to talk to me? I'll take his side. Here, look, I'll argue for him.
Thank you.
Like people.
Okay, we've got 5 minutes and we did the West. Now let's do your East, make your bet, and then we'll revisit at 40 games. And then we'll call it a day.
Okay.
Tell me who's
how about this, Channing? How about this? This is the bet. This is my bet.
Yeah, Channing, you got the bet in the West. Richard, do you have the bet in the East?
The bet in the East is this. Ooh, this is a stretch, but I'm going to say that the Charlotte Hornets are going to end up with a better record than the Chicago Bulls.
Ooh, I'm taking that right now. I'm taking that.
Now let me, there's some caveats here. There's got to be like semi-health. If LaMelo Ball misses 25 games because of a sprained ankle.
It's part of the game, Richard.
I understand. I'm just saying, I don't want anybody to come at me and like, but look, if
this is after 6 games played, 6 and 7 games played. This is what you're saying. Everyone's healthy.
Everyone's healthy. I think at the end of the season, because like, again, we've already seen a little bit of injury stuff that's going on in Chicago. Zach LaVine's got a injured off thumb. Right, like I don't know.
Well, luckily, there's not 2 other all-stars on that team who can carry a team.
DeMar DeRozan looks great, by the way. Shout out the guy Double D, man. He looks outstanding. Vucevic, he's great. What, I can't say Double D.
Child, you're such a child. Both of you. Richard knew exactly what he was doing, and you fell for it. Hook, line, and sunk. Anyways,
go ahead.
Look, I like the Charlotte Hornets. They were a sleeper team last year. They were a sleeper team. Like Bridges.
So you have the Hornets finishing better than the Bulls.
Yeah, it might be 6 or 7, but I'm going to say that's going to be my hot take, my scalding hot take.
I'm trying to think.
Look, it's going to be tight. I love the Bulls. The Bulls, they actually look fun to watch. If you, I'm not talking about ESPN games, people. Channing and I will both agree on this. If I turn on the NBA package to yours, if I turn on that to watch you play, then I'm interested. I'm not going to just tune on ESPN like, oh, the Bulls are playing. Yes, ESPN marquee game. I want to listen to Doris. I want to listen to Mike Breen. I want to listen to the team. Yeah, cool. That's interesting. But if I'm turning on a Tuesday and you're in Minnesota and I have to have the NBA package to watch you, then you're good. And I think the Chicago Bulls and Charlotte Hornets are both one of those teams that you would turn on.
Channing, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at this and I'm saying, like, out of the top 8, you would say Toronto and Washington would be like the 2 teams that
9-10.
Right? Because then you have Atlanta and Milwaukee who are 9 and 10.
So you have Toronto and Washington at 9 and 10.
Yo, we're going to revisit this in like 10 games. And we're like, yo, what the fuck happened to them? What the fuck happened to that team?
Yeah, I think New York can sustain this, right? I think Miami can sustain it. I think Charlotte will be where they are now, 5, 6, 7. I think Brooklyn's obviously not going to be 8th. And then Philly is a weird team because Joel's hurt now. So, like, what happens to their team without Ben Simmons?
Yeah, Channing, you have to be a really good team to handle an injury to one person. The Bulls can now handle an injury to DeMar DeRozan, right? If he misses 5 games or 7 games because they have more talent, and they can miss Levine because they have DeMar and Vucevic and all these guys. So now it's like, okay, they can handle the bumps in the road over the course of an NBA season. That means that what you're doing is sustainable. But like, let's be honest, if LaMelo Ball or if De'Aaron Fox, if those guys miss 10, 15 games, that team is going to go fucking to shit. Same with fucking Dallas. If they miss Luka for 10, 15 games for something basic like a sprained ankle, COVID vial, any fucking thing, that team's going to go to shit. It's just the truth. But there are certain teams that have enough talent that can handle it. Like, that's just a cold hard truth. That's why when you say, can it be sustainable? That means, can you play through an injury? Because that's going to happen to your team over the course of the season. And there's certain teams that just don't have enough talent to make it sustainable.
6 games in, who wins Rookie of the Year?
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know. Cade Cunningham's undefeated, though.
Hey, low-key, he does move just like in the same nuance as Brandon.
You know who's been impressive, though? I don't think he's Rookie of the Year right now, but you know who's been impressive?
Oh,
Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley.
Yes, Evan Mobley. Scotty Barnes. He's been
Scotty Barnes is nice.
Yeah.
Jalen Green is nice.
Evan Mobley looks like a silent.
He just looks like a creative player. Like, he's literally a body.
But like, doesn't change. Like, isn't like rattled. Yeah.
He's a coach's son too. He's a coach's son. Had a big brother that played at USC.
He built like this. He's built like this.
Shout out to him. We had him on Road Trippin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evan's great. But like, that's what I'm saying. I like Evan Mobley too. Shout out JB. JB, man, I think you got yourself a real one. You know what I see when I see Evan Mobley, JB? Job security.
All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to get off your chest? Channing, shout out to Handles. It's back. Richard, you're now on Extra. You guys are doing all the things. Congrats.
Doing all the things.
Doing all the
so
things.
fun to watch. Very versatile, just like when you guys were players.
Oh, you got wine coming out.
Versatile.
You got wine coming out?
Yeah.
I still haven't tried the bubblegum one.
This is our new one.
Oh, look at that label.
Oh, yeah. And then we have this one. I think that's coming out.
You think that's coming out?
I know it's coming.
Aren't you? Yeah, what's up on the candles, bitch?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I forgot. My bad.
I want all the candles. I'm telling you.
Excuse me.
What?
I'm the one that said the candles. Are you telling me that I called you and was mad that we didn't have merchandise because I saw that Channing had candles for Chosen, and then you proceeded to call Channing and be like, give me all the candles, but didn't throw my name out there?
No.
I don't.
The candle conversation was prior to this podcast.
Yeah,
we
for
talked
sure.
about the candles on the podcast before.
Yeah,
And
after
we
I
saw how
called
early-
you
We'll
and
send
was
you
like,
a
Yes,
nice
and I
care
said
package.
we
I
both
want
won 'em.
candles.
We both jumped in on the see. This is the thing when you have your friends that you're trying to support people.
Send me
and
your
they're like,
address.
Yeah, I got you. I'm like, bitch. All I'm trying to do is tweet, post about it, talk about how this thing smells like burnt hair right, through a baby diaper. That's
Don't you
all
guys
I'm
also
trying to
have a friend that has a new workout equipment?
Yeah, what's the fuck's up on the tonal, Bron? Yo, what's up, man? I'm trying to get my lift.
I'm trying to get my Pilates body on.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get my wiggle on.
Shout out to
Listen,
Camus, by the way, because they're the ones that
Ooh,
supply all the
Camus,
wonderful wine that we drink on the podcast all the time when it's not 10 a.m. All right, that'll do it for this edition.
See ya.
See ya.
Peace out, mother effers.
Great podcast. Put it on the reel.
Bye.